Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is October 25th, 2023, and I do have an update for you in regards to Barcelona's injuries ahead of El Clasico match. Also, it's been revealed that Joan Laporta met with 4 former Barcelona presidents in order to discuss a defense for the club in the Negreira case, as Barcelona are preparing themselves to go on a counter-offensive. And finally, Florentino Perez will not be attending El Clasico match in a continuation of the deterioration of the relationship between both clubs. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and this is Barca News' official live stream which is on every Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As usual, we'll cover a segment of news, then we'll head to the chat section to answer any questions, get a discussion going. And for those of you who will be watching the live stream when it ends, I will be putting timestamps in the description and chapters in the timeline in case you want to skip through the discussion. Now, having said all of that, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's completely free and it helps the channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you head to Bet Us, where they're currently having a special for all new signups. If you are looking to buy any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kickback. They're also having a sale all across their website. Both links for Bet Us and kickback are down below in the description. Finally, I do want to announce that Barca News now has YouTube memberships with 3 different tiers, each tier with its own perks and benefits. So make sure you check those out as well. Now, having said all of that and having given you this extremely long intro, let's dive right into the news, beginning with Barcelona, who defeated Shakhtar Donetsk today in a Champions League match 2-1 with goals of Ferran Torres and the MVP of the match, Fermín López, who had an incredibly amazing match and amazing performance. I did do a post-match live analysis as soon as the match ended. So if you do want to hear my analysis and my thoughts about the match and about the performance of the team and the players, make sure you check that video out on my channel. Now, speaking of the match against Shakhtar Donetsk, I know a lot of people got worried when they saw this image of João Felix leaving the field around the 74th minute because he had some discomfort. He had to be subbed out. And during the post-match live analysis, I said that it was my opinion that probably it wasn't anything serious because João Felix was seen going to the bench and watching the rest of the match from the bench. And of course, usually when there's something serious, players go straight into the locker room where they get examined by the club's doctors. But since João Felix had gone to the bench, it didn't seem like it was anything serious. That was my opinion in the post-match live analysis. And while it seems I was correct and João Felix is not injured, he simply had some discomfort from a hit he received. And this has been confirmed by Xavi Hernandez himself. In the post-match interview that Xavi gave, he said, and I'll make this bigger for you. He said, João Felix is not injured. It's a blow. There will be no problem for him to be there in El Clasico match. So Xavi Hernandez confirming what I had suspected, that it was nothing serious. It was simply a blow. And as João Felix was feeling some pain from some discomfort from that blow, so he was subbed off. And again, Xavi Hernandez confirming that João Felix will be available for El Clasico match. Now, in case you still have some doubts, in case you're still worried about João Felix, understandably so, because João Felix has become a very important player for our team, this was also confirmed by the player himself. He posted an Instagram post, and I'll make this bigger for you, earlier today, and he wrote it in Spanish, but the translation is, I am fine. It was just a bruise. time to recover and prepare for the next game. So Joao Felix also confirming the same thing, that it was simply a blow. He was hurting from it. That's why he was subbed off. So no worries at all. Joao Felix is not injured. He will be in tomorrow. In the Clasico match on Saturday. Now, Xavi Hernandez was asked about the other injuries. Of course, we have a long list of injured players. Pedri, Frenkie de Jong, Robert Lewandowski, Rafinha, Jules Koundé, Sergi Roberto. And in the post-match interview, Xavi gave a little update, not too clear about the injuries, but he did say this. He said, if we bring back one of the injured players for El Clasico, it will be very positive, but we will not force anyone. Everyone is doing their part to try catch El Clasico. So again, Xavi said, not confirming or denying anything, not saying any players are expected to be back, just saying that, of course, as the time goes by, they're going to see how the players are feeling, what the medical exams reveal, and depending on that, we'll see which players will be ready for a Clasico match. But I do have a development, or I do have an update in regards to this, because even though it was initially thought that Pedri could be coming off as a substitute against Real Madrid, during the second half, it's been revealed, or it's been revealed, that Pedri has been ruled out from El Clasico match. So 100%, we won't see Pedri on Saturday against Real Madrid. Of course, it's unfortunate. We're all hoping to see Pedri back. Initially, the only two players that have been ruled out was Jules Koundé and Sergi Roberto. Everyone else still had a chance to come back. But now Pedri joins the list of Koundé and Sergi Roberto of the players that are for sure ruled out for Saturday's match against Real Madrid. Now, more bad news in the injury department, because Frenkie de Jong has also been completely ruled out from El Clasico match because of his ankle injury. When he was initially injured, it was reported that he would be out until November. But then as he was improving, there were some reports stating that maybe he could come back before that. But it seems that that's not the case. And it's been confirmed that, yes, he will be out until November. And he won't be coming back until the match against Rayo Vallecano, which means that Frenkie de Jong will miss, of course, El Clasico match against Real Madrid, the match against Real Sociedad, the match against Shakhtar Donetsk, because we have to play against Shakhtar Donetsk again, but this time in an away match, the match against Alaves, and finally, we'll be back against Rayo Vallecano. So that's a total of 4 matches that he will miss. Again, Real Madrid, Real Sociedad, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Alaves. And we should expect Frenkie de Jong to be back for the match against Rayo Vallecano. So that's 4 players that will for sure miss El Clasico match. Frenkie de Jong, Pedri, Sergio Roberto, and Jules Koundé. But there's still a chance that Robert Lewandowski, Rafinha can both come back for the match on Saturday. And again, Joao Felix not injured, so he will be in the match, in the Clasico match as well. So that's all the update as far as the injuries. Let's head into the comment section. Let's see what you guys are saying, answer some questions, get a discussion going. And then we will talk about the meeting between Joan Laporta and the former Barcelona president in regards to the Enriquez Negreira case. All right, let's start with Brian, who says we need to shut Bellingham down. Yes, we do. But Bellingham's not the only player that we need to worry about. We also have Vinicius Jr., we have Rodrigo. Definitely a scary attack by Real Madrid, but I'm sure our defense will be able to shut them down. Whoa, that just moved on me. Luke says, sorry, I was trying to highlight this one before it moved on me, but Luke says, hi, Mo. I feel like no one wants to be associated with Barcelona club. That's not true, as we've seen over and over again. There are plenty of players whose dream are still to play in Barcelona, and they are willing to come here on a free basis. They're willing to come here earning much lower salaries than they're being offered in other clubs. So that's not true. Players still want to come to Barcelona. Barcelona is still the biggest name in the football world. And my man Klaus, it's always good to see Klaus in the live stream. And he says, was Pedri injured again in training? He wasn't injured again in training, but his recover is taking longer. And that seems to be a common problem with Pedri, where, we think he's going to be back in a week or two, and then he ends up taking 2 months. Not sure what's going on with him. I think a lot of it had to do during his first season. He really was overused under Koeman and with the Spanish international with the Spanish team. That his first season he played pretty much every match possible in La Liga, Copa del Rey, Champions League, and every match with Spain. And I think that season really caused a lot of damage on Pedri, and that's why we're seeing him constantly being injured. All right, one more comment, and then we'll get back to the news. And King Hud says, "Hey Mo, I just came on, and tomorrow's my birthday. The win today was one of the best gifts I can ask for. I'm actually still very confident for a Clasico Saturday, despite that injuries." Happy birthday, King Hud. I know it's tomorrow, but happy early birthday. I'm glad that Barcelona were able to give you this gift of this win today. I wish it was like a bigger win, like 4-1, 5-1, whatever. But hopefully you'll also get the gift of a Clasico match. Hopefully Barcelona will also win that match, and that way you can get 2 gifts for your birthday. In fact, so interesting anecdote, I actually share my birthday with Barcelona. My birthday is November 29th, which is the same day that Barcelona was founded. I guess it was meant to be for me to be a Barcelona fan. But I remember one of the best gifts that Barcelona ever gave me was on November 29th. This was several years ago, but it was La Manita, when Barcelona scored 5 goals against Real Madrid. I think it was 2011. I remember Bia scoring 2 goals. I think that was the match where Xavi scores that goal where he kind of he picks up the ball with his heel and passes it over himself and then scores against Casillas. Pedro, he scored a goal as well. So that was one of the best gifts the club ever gave me, 5-0 against Real Madrid on November 29, my birthday and Barcelona's birthday. And I watched that match live, and I remember it was an incredible feeling. But anyways, let's get back to the news, because we do have to talk about kind of a bombshell news, not expected. But Joan Laporta met with 4 Barcelona former presidents, and I'll make this bigger so you can see their faces. But Joan Laporta met with Josep Maria Bartomeu, Sandro Rosé, Enrique Reina, and finally Jean Gaspar. They had a dinner, all 5 of them together, yesterday, Tuesday, October the 24th, in order to discuss a united front and how to face all the attacks that Barcelona have been receiving with the whole Enrique Negreira case, with the prosecutor's office launching an investigation, with Joaquin Aguirre, the judge, just leaking judicial opinion after judicial opinion, just going after the club without any evidence. Real Madrid joining the lawsuit, Real Madrid TV with their disgusting campaigns, the media campaigns against Barcelona, Sevilla breaking their relationship with Barcelona, all this attacks that Barcelona have been receiving. So these 5 presidents met to discuss how to defend against these attacks, and also how to go on a counter-offensive, because Barcelona need to act in the face of all this aggression that they're receiving from every corner of Spain. Now, the club did release an announcement or a statement in regards to this meeting, and I will make this bigger. About the club, the statement read, FC Barcelona hereby announces that yesterday evening, its last 5 presidents, Joan Laporta, Josep Maria Bartomeu, Sandro Rosé, Enrique Reina, and Jean Gaspar, had an informal dinner together in order to consolidate and settle a unified position against the attacks and slander that have been attempting to unsettle life at the club and which have intensified of late. Current President Joan Laporta accepted the proposition made by Jean Gaspar at last Saturday's General Assembly of Delegate Members as a means to consolidate an unbreakable stance and forge cohesion among the club's membership. Over dinner, the 5 gentlemen analyzed the current situation at FC Barcelona and reached a consensus on certain issues, the overreaching aim being to support the club's best interests, especially with regard to affairs related to the incessant attacks on FC Barcelona throughout its history, and most especially of all in recent times. Now, in my opinion, it was a surprising announcement, given that Joan Laporta met with Bartomeu and Rosé. As the announcement, as the statement made it clear, this was per the request of the former president Jean Gaspar. Jean Gaspar was president at the meeting, at the Barcelona meeting, General Assembly that was held on Saturday, and Jean Gaspar did speak. And he also spoke to Joan Laporta afterwards, and he spoke to the media, and he asked Joan Laporta to please meet with all the former presidents in order to, bring a kind of unified front, discuss what's going on and how to respond. And it seems that Joan Laporta, even though he was initially hesitant to kind of join forces with Bartomeu and Rosé, he did agree to this informal dinner, but only under the condition that there will be no press, no pictures, because, of course, Joan Laporta still wants to keep his distance from Bartomeu and from Rosé. So very interesting development in the whole Negreira case with these 5 presidents meeting. We'll see what's going to come out of this dinner. Nothing has been announced as far as what has been decided or how the club will move forward. Again, this was an informal meeting just to discuss things. Doesn't mean that Joan Laporta will continue to work with these former presidents. As I've said before, I personally hope he doesn't. I'm glad that Barcelona want to kind of get a unified front in the face of all this aggression that the club are receiving. But I really would not like to see Joan Laporta working with the likes of Rosé and Bartomeu, just given all the damage that they have done to the club. They have ruined the club financially. They ruined the sporting project as well. Everything disgusting things that they did, like hiring a PR firm to talk crap about their own club's players like Messi and Piqué. All the money that they spent. It looks like they were stealing money from the club. So I definitely don't want Joan Laporta to work with Rosé and Bartomeu. I'm glad they had the informal dinner. Hopefully good things come out of it. And hopefully they can all get on the same page. But I really, really would prefer that Joan Laporta stay away from those 2 crooks, because the amount of damage that they did to Barcelona is honestly worse probably than what Madrid and all of Spain are trying to do to Barcelona with the Negreira case. I think what Bartomeu and Rosé did were actually worse. But anyways, let's get back to the chat section. We'll do a few more comments, and then we'll talk about another bombshell news, which is that Florentino Perez will not be attending El Clasico match. Oh, and there we go. Chuchu says, to be honest, Perez distancing himself from Barcelona is not a good look. I don't want to say anything yet because I want to discuss the news first, so I don't want to do any spoilers. Let's see. Tim says, what will happen if the Spanish courts are too much corrupted and find Barca guilty of corruption? Can Barcelona go to EU courts or something like that? As far as I know, I don't think so, because this is not the courts or the prosecutor's office in Spain. This investigation is a criminal investigation. This is not a sport investigation. These are not sporting bodies. This is the actual legislature, the judicial courts of Spain. So I don't think that EU has any power here. It's kind of like getting arrested for, I don't know, breaking into someone's house and be like, I'm going to appeal to the EU. The EU's like, I don't care, buddy. That's Spanish law, Spanish courts, a Spanish crime. So I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's not the case. Okay, let's see. What else? JC says, I don't see what benefit this meeting gives us. The fans won't be happy if nothing comes from it. What benefit is that 5 heads are better than 1, and they can all discuss what's going on and come up with strategies and ideas and brainstorm. That's the benefit. King Hud says, this is why I love Laporta. He is fearless in moments of danger and uses his knowledge and experiences to show the innocence of the club despite consistent allegations from everyone. Yes, honestly, given everything that the club are going through with the Enrique Negreira case, I'm glad that Joan Laporta is the president. I can't imagine anyone doing a better job standing in the face of all this aggression and still going about business and still focusing on rebuilding the club financially and sporting wise. So I'm really, really glad that Joan Laporta is the president. All right, speaking of presidents, let's get back to the news because we do have to talk about Real Madrid's president. Whoa, I don't want to make him that big. I don't think he deserves that much real estate on my screen. But Florentino Perez, who has announced that he will not be attending El Clasico match. Now, it's no secret that the relations between Barcelona and Real Madrid have been on the decline ever since the Enrique Negreira case came to surface, because Real Madrid decided to join the complaint that the prosecutor's office had filed against Barcelona. They joined it as their own party. And after that, the relationship kind of started to deteriorate between both clubs, because Barcelona saw it as a stab in the back for Real Madrid to do that. And most importantly, it's honestly incredibly hypocritical for Real Madrid to claim to be a victim of refereeing. I think it's absolutely laughable. Right now, they're looking like clowns. But anyways, that's what happened. And in March of earlier this year, the last season, Florentino Perez decided not to attend El Clasico match. Now, 7 months later, there's still no development in the Enrique Negreira case. There's still no evidence to prove anything, because there isn't any evidence, and because Barcelona didn't do anything wrong. And it looks like Florentino Perez will miss another El Clasico match. Now, it's customary in La Liga when two teams, before the match, the executives of both teams, they usually have a luncheon together, and then they head to the stadium and they watch the match from their respective VIP boxes. Florentino Perez had initially announced that he wasn't going to be attending the luncheon, but he was going to attend the match in the VIP box. And now he decided to not even attend the match. And the excuse they are using is a tweet that was made by a Barcelona spokesperson named Mikel Camps. Now, before we dig into the statement, I just want to give you the background of what happened. Pretty much in the match between Real Madrid and Braga in the Champions League yesterday, where Real Madrid won 2-1, there was a moment where Vinicius Jr. was kind of by the sideline, and he had the ball, and he was like doing all these silly bicycles and silly moves in his plays, not doing anything really with the ball. Just Vinicius being Vinicius, total clown. And finally, I guess the defenders in Braga complained about that, like, what is he doing? And while watching the match, Mikel Camps, who again, spokesman for Barcelona, released a tweet in regards to that, to what he was seeing. And in his tweet, he said, "It's not racism. He deserves a slap for being a clown and a wind-up merchant. What's the point of these unnecessary and senseless stepovers in the middle of the field?" So that was the tweet, of Mikel Camps that was later deleted. We don't know if he deleted it because the club told him to delete it, or if he deleted it because he eventually realized that it was not smart what he had said. But the point is, he did delete that tweet later. In my opinion, it's a little bit in bad taste. I don't think he should have done that, especially as a spokesperson of Barcelona, because even though he is voicing his own opinion, the end of the day, that reflects on the entire club. I mean, had he used, I don't know, a different account where you can't really tell who he is, like Big Daddy _89 or something like that, then fine. But when you're speaking from your personal account as a spokesperson for Barcelona, that statement reflects on the entire club. Even though I do agree with him, not about the racism part, but about Vinicius deserving a slap. We've all seen the shenanigans of Vinicius, constantly running his mouth, provoking the opposing team, pushing players. He actually punched a player last season, but his suspension was removed because, according to the Royal Spanish Football Federation, he was, provoked, insulting the bench, insulting the fans. We've all seen the shenanigans of Vinicius Jr. He's a total clown. He does not know how to behave, does not know how to act, does not know how to carry himself the right way. So yes, he deserves a slap. Yes, he is a clown. Yes, we all hate how he acts. But nonetheless, as a spokesperson of Barcelona, you shouldn't be making this tweet. But anyways, this tweet was made and apparently angered a lot of people at Real Madrid. All the Real Madrid clowns, all these, media personalities that they have, they all started tweeting about, calling for the resignation of Mikel Camps, because apparently they know who should and shouldn't resign. These are the same people that used to call for Laporta's resignation because of the Enrique Negreira case. And as a result of all this, Florentino Perez has now used this tweet as an excuse not to attend the match at El Clasico, or the VIP box in El Clasico match, which only makes or strains the relationship between both clubs even more. Anyways, that's the news. Let's get back to the chat section, and then we will talk about Lionel Messi real quick, and then we will end the live stream. But let's see. Let's see. Chuchu says, as much as this is a competition between Real and Barca, we need a healthy competition, not what we got now. I agree 100%. But, Real Madrid insist on being, the victims, because remember, this whole thing was started by Real Madrid joining or filing their own complaint against Barcelona for corruption, saying that they're victims, refusing to attend the Clasico match back in March. Despite all that, Joan Laporta still decided to continue with Real Madrid and the Super League. Joan Laporta made a personal invitation to Florentino Perez to come to this Clasico match, and yet once again, Florentino Perez refusing to attend. So it's clownish behavior by a clownish club, but what else can you expect from Real Madrid, who had the nerve of calling Barcelona the club of the regiment? My God, the days that we live in. All right, Brad says, FB will be at the match, just skipping the meal, right? No, he's skipping both. He was initially going to attend the match, but skip the meal, but he'll be there. He'll miss both. Let's see. King HUD says, what are wall passes? I don't think that comment was for me. I didn't mention anything about wall passes. But I think to answer your question, it's 1-2s, right? Let me see if I can. You got two players. This guy passes to this guy and then runs, and this guy just returns it, right? It's a wall because this guy stays in his place. I hope that helped. And that was a terrible way to explain with my fingers, but pretty much it's a 1-2 pass. All right, let's see. Grandmaster Yoda says that Ferran foul should have been a red. I think I know what foul you're talking about, and no, because there was still one more defender ahead. Had the other defender not been in front of Ferran, that would have been a red, because it would have been a clear, denying him a clear chance of goal. But I don't think so, no. Richard says, Mo, thanks for the double video today. Thank you, Richard, for watching both. I know you were in the earlier live stream. Let's see. What else? King Hot says, Barca and Real are La Liga titans, and everyone knows that. We join forces would be unstoppable, even though it won't happen. But seeing how two-faced they are is ridiculous. I agree 100%. I think you got the two biggest teams in La Liga, the two biggest money makers. They're two of the biggest teams in the whole world and two of the biggest money makers in the whole world, two of the richest clubs. If they join forces, you can only imagine how much they can advance La Liga and La Liga's interest. But unfortunately, when you have a club like Real Madrid who insist on acting like clowns, what can you do? All right, let's do one last bit of news, and this is a short one, but it's worth mentioning. But there's been a lot of reports stating that Lionel Messi will win his record 8th Ballon d'Or. This has been confirmed or reported by pretty reliable sources like Gerard Romero, like Fabrizio Romano, who've all said that why am I forgetting the organization that makes the Ballon d'Or? I forgot. Anyways, the magazine in charge of organizing the event have reportedly already called Leo Messi and told him that he has won the 8th Ballon d'Or. Of course, the Ballon d'Or is set to be held on Monday, and we should expect Messi to win it. Of course, he has some serious competition from Erling Haaland, who had an exceptional season last season with Manchester City, winning the treble, the Premier League, the Shield, Community Shield, whatever the hell that ugly-ass trophy is called, and, of course, the Champions League. Now, in my opinion, and you might say maybe it's biased because I am a Barcelona fan, I do think that Messi deserves it over Haaland, even though Haaland did win the treble. And the reason I say that, it's not just because Messi won the World Cup, but because Manchester City, without Erling Haaland, would have still won the treble. Argentina, without Messi, wouldn't have won the World Cup. And that's evident because in every final that Manchester City had, Haaland completely disappeared. In fact, Haaland disappeared in most of Champions League knockout matches. So I am confident that Argentina without Messi wouldn't have won the World Cup, but Manchester City without Haaland would have won the treble. Not to take anything away from Erling Haaland, he's still an absolute beast. Amazing season. Great performance last season. He's set himself up as one of the best center forwards in the world right now. So not to take anything away from him, but I do think that Messi deserves it. And quick mention, both Gundogan and Lewandowski are also finalists. But of course, it is expected that Messi will win his 8th Ballon d'Or. And it's not going to be a good day for Penaldo fans who continue to try to convince us that scoring goals in Saudi League that's ranked 68th is somehow impressive. Anyways, that is it for today, guys. Let's do a few more comments, and then we'll end the live stream. Second live stream of today. It's been a good day. I really like when I do the live streams because I get to interact with you guys. And anyways, Ivan says, can you explain why Xabi not using wall passes? For that, my friend, you would have to book a fly to Barcelona, track down Xabi, and ask him yourself. Richard says, of course, no one else deserves it but Messi. Haaland hasn't done it internationally. Agreed. Thank you, Nima. France Football. I could not remember the organizer of Ballon d'Or, but yes, France Football. They reportedly have called Messi and told him that he has won his 8th Ballon d'Or. King Hud says, these Messi rumors are playing with my heart, man. But I absolutely love if Messi came here for the season, especially with soon coming Vitor Roque, but it won't happen, unfortunately. No, it's not going to happen. It was never going to happen. Sometimes there's slow days in the news, and unfortunately, media outlets have to fill their pages and come up with, crazy crap like, Saudi, who was it? I think it was Al Hilal. They're going to sign Messi and don't loan him back to us. And then it was like, it was found out that he's actually going to Inter Miami. No, Inter Miami is going to sign him and then loan him back. Why would anyone do that? Would you save your whole life to buy a Ferrari just so you can give it to your friend and let him drive it? Makes no sense. Anyways, Grandmaster Yoda says, how far into the KO do you think Barcelona can make it? Let's say Arsenal in round of 16, Napoli in 8, Real in quarter, Bayern in semis, and City in final. I don't think we would get Arsenal in the round of 16. The good thing is that Barcelona are first in their group. I think we can finish first in our group. And that means that we would get someone that finished second in their group for the round of 16. So I do think we can make it to the quarterfinals. Past that, highly, highly doubt it. Unless Barcelona somehow start playing the way they played against Real Betis or the way they play against Anderlecht. If Barcelona start playing like that every single match consistently, maybe we can get past the quarterfinals. But from what I'm seeing so far, I think we'll make it to the quarterfinals, but that's it. I don't think we'll go any further. But if we were to get these opponents in that order, we wouldn't even get out of round of 16 because the way Barcelona are playing right now, there's no way they would beat Arsenal. I just don't see it happening. All right, one more. Tim says, but there needs to be something that Barca can do if the Spanish system is too corrupted. At the end of the day, there is European Union for a reason. About my last question. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, but I don't think there's a recourse as far as going to the EU. All right. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you for joining the live stream. Thank you for all your comments, your questions, your likes, your subscriptions. Don't forget to like again. Liking the video is the best way you can help this channel. Again, it prompts YouTube to recommend the video to people who've never seen the channel. So please make sure you hit the like button. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Have a good night or good morning wherever you are. And as always,